Stocks in the crypto market took an absolute beating. That's why I got red in the background. But why did they take a beating? Well, we're going to learn about that. We're also going to talk price action of XRP. Sailors dropping some wisdom in the market. David Schwartz says this would help XRPL along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Happy Saturday to you crypto fans from around the world. Yeah, I know there's red up on the screen and red in my background, but I'm confident we're going to get back to levels. Today's video, we're going to learn about why we went red, because this is big. This has to do with confidence and a little bit of shenanigans going on in the old crypto market. We're also going to talk a little uphold action. Boobala's got to say something, and again, we got to take the mic away from this moron. But before we get into all that, your comments come first. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter most. You know how I have a warning in the beginning of my videos about naughty language and stuff? Maybe y'all should have one too. Sam Rogers shouldn't. I love it. Sam Rogers says, I'm snatching up H-bar and XRP like they're the last slice of pizza at a Down syndrome gathering. Damn, we're starting Saturday off dark. Jumbo Mixer says XRP's doing XRP things. Down with the charts, poop basket. Well, look, I'm going to share with you why. But look, it's not just XRP. Check this out. BTC has been one of the most resilient cryptos out there. And look at this 7-day chart for BTC. Down 4%, that's a lot. Like, I know, XRP down 4%, we're like, oh, it's just a normal Tuesday. BTC down 4%, people are like, oh, shit. So much so that Sailor had to send out, a panic tweet to calm the masses. Y'all are right on it, though. Mike Sneed says, Bitcoin maxis, in my experience, are either very new to crypto or don't understand blockchain, or just simply have never been able to let go of the crypto will replace the fiat entirely and the banks are all going down mentality from 10 plus years ago. That's a really good statement. They ignore all the technicals and way like someone trying to tell you that 28K modems are better than gigabit Ethernet. The thing is, Mike, a lot of these people that are BTC maxis have so much money tied up into it that they have to talk good about it, right? Like, that's the big problem with, and this is with like maxis of anything, whether it's XRP maxis, BTC maxis, women's underwear maxis. They have so much of it that they can't remove themselves from the situation and see what's really happening. That's why I say maxiism, no matter what you're maxi about, is a pretty dangerous thing. I would rather have someone who's a balancist. I don't know what the hell the word is. Bitcoin sitting at what, everyone? 113,246, ETH is 3483, XP at 289, and I'm not worried. Why? We're going to bounce back. Doge under that 20-cent mark, while XLM is at 37.4. 8 is clinging on to 70 cents, while BNB is hovering fairly strongly at 7.50. All right, let's talk about what caused this. There's a lot of shit out there that's being thrown around for reasons, and this is the real one. The Dow tumbles more than 500 points as job numbers shock Wall Street and tariff panic sets in. So essentially what happened was the jobs report came out. It was weaker than expected. Not good, okay? Here's the problem with that. The problem isn't the jobs report, because remember, as jobs soften, it gives what? Jerome Powell and the Fed a reason to lower rates, because they're like, oh, crap, the job market is weakening. We can actually lower rates to offset this. Well, the problem was this. Trump, claiming weak job numbers were rigged, fires the labor official. The big problem we got here is Trump fired the labor official, and that is causing what? People not to trust the numbers. And the market is all about guidance, right? Think of the dashboard of your car, right? You look at it, it tells you how fast you're going, your engine temperature, your RPMs, if you got low tire pressure, all that kind of stuff, right? What if you couldn't trust that? Yeah, what if all of a sudden you get pulled over by a cop and the cop's like, yo, you know you were going 60, and you're like, bro, my speedometer said I was going 40, and he's like, no, bad data, essay. Your dashboard was rigged. That's essentially what's going on. So now you're like, oh, I don't have any confidence. And when the market doesn't have confidence in the numbers, we've got a core problem. President Trump unleashed his fury about the weakness in the labor market on Friday, saying without evidence that the data was rigged and that he was firing the Senate-confirmed Department of Labor official responsible for pulling together the numbers each month. In a long post on social media, Trump said he has directed his team to fire Erica McInfurther, the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who was confirmed on a bipartisan basis in 2024. Emily Little, an associate commissioner with the Bureau, confirmed Friday that McInfurther had been fired and that William Wachowski, the deputy commissioner, would serve. So again, if we can't trust the numbers themselves, not what the numbers are saying, but the numbers themselves, the market has no guidance on where to go. So this is all about confidence and trust in the market, because remember, a weak jobs report is actually a good thing, because that tells Jerome Powell, yo, you've left rates too high, jobs are starting to slide, you need to take your foot off our necks and lower rates. But instead what happened was this report came out and Trump is like, yo, you rigged the numbers, you don't believe it, we don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. And now people are like, bro, so what are the real numbers? Are they even worse? Have they been lying about this? What way are we going? That's what I'm saying. Uncertainty for the market is a bad thing. It's like sitting on the fence, right? What does sitting on the fence do? It hurts your ass, right? Sometimes you got to make a decision. And right now, if we don't have faith in the data, we're in deep shit. Just remember, you trust the dashboard of your car, right? What if you couldn't? Yeah, you probably wouldn't drive as much, or you'd get a new car. You see my point? That's what's happening. Saylor revisits his iconic 2020 BTC tweet as Bitcoin dies below 114. So the reason I'm sharing this has to do with your comments in the beginning, right? And what was one of the comments in the beginning? It was from Mike saying about the BTC maxis. Well, what happened is this, is Saylor comes out and puts a tweet out again like, oh, BTC is like cyber hornets, blah, blah, blah. It's cringy as shit, okay? And he left it pinned up on there. Either way, what happens is this. When Bitcoin pumps, dude is like, oh, we're all in the profit, we're awesome. But when it starts going down, he's like, oh, don't worry, we're good to go, blah, 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 blah. But like, the way he does it is to calm the masses. I do it from an informational sense. If I think the market's going to dump even further, I tell you. If I think we're going to hold support, I tell you, right? I just tell you what it is, not a maxi point of view. So what happens is every time there's a pullback of price, he doesn't really explain why. Instead, what he does is, oh, we'll be good. I explain to you why. Yeah, there's a big difference between Maxiism and actually reporting the news. Ripple CTO reveals what's most useful for the XRP Ledger. This is messed up, and someone needs to take Twitter away from this fucking moron. And I know there's some of you out there that are David Schwartz Maxis that gobble up on his nutsack like he's the next fucking coming of Jesus. But listen to this, all right? This is from David Schwartz, CTO. I haven't run any XRP infrastructure myself in a few years. Oh, fuck, that's not a good way. Are you serious? You're the CTO, and you right now are like, yeah, I haven't run any XRP. So obviously you're not worried about working with XRPL. What the fuck, man? Either way, what he does is he gives an explanation of what would be most important for XRP. I'll read that a little bit. I'll leave this link down below so that if you want to read the whole thing, you can. But his opening statement is, I haven't run any XRP infrastructure myself in a few years. That would be me like starting off a video going, you know, I haven't looked in the news in a few years, but this is what's happening. You'd be like, wait, you just said that you're not actively involved. Yeah, that's what David Schwartz said in his first fucking statement. Someone take the mic away from this jabroni. Looking at the network, it seems like the most useful thing would be a high-quality hub with the reserved slots for you and now validators, other hubs, and servers serving the application XPL. This would be me personally, not Ripple. My current plan is to deploy a server using AMD, blah, 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 blah. It would be a single server. Look, okay? This is... yeah. David Schwartz for you, ladies and gentlemen. Right off the bat saying he's really not involved with XRPL, and that, guess what, everyone? That he hasn't been in years. That's pathetic. Uphold, okay? Uphold has a really, really interesting quote, or poll out here, okay? Now, Uphold's another one. They're like, oh, come on, we'll be good. Oh, yeah. Like, they don't tell you the whys. They just try to bang the drum to get you to go. But Uphold posted this, and I wanted to share this with you because this gives you a really good idea of what the majority of the market looks like. I know we're, like, invaded with, like, YouTube and Twitter where everyone's like, yeah, I just moved $1 million of XRP. Yeah, I just bought another 100,000 in BTC. I'm a whale. Well, I think most people are fucking lying because listen to this. Uphold. Serious question. When you buy crypto, what's your average transaction size? What drives that decision? Are you DCAing, chasing dips, going all in? Listen to this. The average size was $100 to $499. Yeah. In fact, listen to this. Over 60% of people out there, their average transaction is $1 to $500. So the majority of the market isn't whales. The majority of the market are smaller transactions. So be very careful out there because there's a perception that, oh my God, these people are buying up big gobbles and gobbles and gobbles. No, they're really not. The majority of people are just buying with what they can. And remember, if the job market starts weakening and Powell leaves rates higher because he's like, oh shit, we got more inflation problems. Well, guess what? That hurts how much money you have, your discretionary income. See how all this stuff pieces together? That's why I bring you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. Okay, gonna talk a little bad news here, okay? So if you need to do a shot of Roni, you need to do a bong ripperoni, you need to bump a ladder, look, do what you gotta do, boys and girls. There's a naughty warning in the beginning, and sometimes you just gotta deal with life the way you do. All right, here's the problem. Bitcoin broke 113,000. That's not good. Bitcoin chart I already showed you is bad. Volume, super strong, 150 billion. So exchanges are making money. Altcoin season index, we've slid back. Market cap, we've slid back quite heavily. What else? Look at this. Institutional outflows near $1 billion. Now, look at this backside of this last 30 days. Weaker than shit ever since the 15th. So the last couple weeks have been very, very soft. See, the bigs have been telling us what the market is going to do. Zoom out for the 1 year and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. We had massive, massive run-ups, right? Around the middle of the month. Let's go right here. Now watch what happens to this chart. I'm going to have BTC up on the screen. Go to the middle of the month. Massive price action, right? XRP, middle of the month. Watch what happens here. Massive price action. Just like the middle of the month here. And then the whales start selling off, right? The whales started selling off before the market did because look, the market was going sideways and then we went down. Market was going essentially sideways and then we went down. So watch the outflows because that has been a very good indicator here as of late. Like I said, middle of the month, things were juicy and then they slowly started trimming it back. BTC, yeah. 112,000. This is the lowest we have seen BTC since the beginning part of July. So even BTC is making a big move backwards. XRP, same thing, right? Since the middle of July. Volume for XRP right around $6 billion. I am confident that we're going to hold that $3 floor. We saw it plenty of times in the $2 mark where we would dip below. Remember Sunday Bloody Sunday? I do because I reported on it. And like I told you, I report the news whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad, accurate so that you can make the best decision. We had plenty of times. What about the Trump and Elon spat between the two of them? That broke us between two and then we bounced back up. I have a feeling we're going to do the same here. If we don't, that means something big happened. Big terms of jobs wise. Jerome Powell now saying, oh, well, I'm definitely going to pause in September, right? Something like that. If we get something like that, then yeah, we could push it on the way down. But if we get the regular news cycle like we have been, we're going to be good to go. Now, let's take a quicker look at XRP. We'll go to those candlesticks. We got the 1 hour up on the screen, and you can see right here, we had some support. We pushed, had some support. We pushed. So we've been fighting right around that $3 mark. Check it out. 1 breach, 2 breach, and we're on our 3rd right now. Each one has moved us above $3. So we just got to see if that trend plays back out. XRP, though, zoomed out, is still very healthy. But like I said, we did erode most of our price action to mid-July, which coincides perfectly with what the bigs have been doing. So it's not just about confidence in the market. It's in the confidence or the accuracy of your data, right? Life is built around data. Right now, I've got a humidity thing in my room, and it says it's 50% humidity, 69 degrees. Nice. Way done, Klaus. But I use this because it helps me out and predict kind of what's happening with my sinuses because I've had some sinus issues lately, right? High humidity, I have problems. Low humidity, all of a sudden my sinuses start drying out and I have problems. But I trust this thing. So I've got a dehumidifier and a humidifier in here to kind of regulate this room specifically because I spend so much time in here. But I rely on that data. Now, if that wasn't accurate, and let's just say the real humidity was 40 instead of 51, so I'm pumping moisture in, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, my nose and my sinuses are flaring up, I'm starting to get worse, what's going on here? Yeah, I wouldn't be able to trust the data, and that makes you make bad decisions because you can't use the data. And that's the problem we got right now. Look, getting a bad jobs report, getting a bump up in inflation, that doesn't scare the market, right? It kind of makes the market go, oh, okay, we need to pay attention. But what scares the market is, oh, wait, we can't trust the data now? So wait, are things way worse? Are things way better? And all of a sudden people are like, I don't know what to do. Because think if you're a business, it's the same thing. If you're a big business leader out there and you got mega investments planned and you're like, bro, I don't know what the hell to do because now all of a sudden we're told that the numbers are rigged. So maybe things are worse than what they stated. So we shouldn't spend our money. Or maybe they're thinking maybe they're better than what they stated and all of a sudden we should have spent our money. Now we need to deploy it. They just don't know. So it's important to have confidence in your data. In fact, imagine a carpenter not being able to trust his tape measure. Simple as that. That would scare every carpenter, and that's why it's scaring the markets right now. You wanted a reason of why we're red? I gave it to you. You wanted information on why I think we're okay? I gave it to you. You wanted hopium stuff without any news? I don't do that. I bring in the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. Unfortunately, with the red background today. Choo-choo what? Choo-choo biz nachos, and happy Saturday. I'm going to go running today. Isn't that awesome? They actually said I can do this stuff. They said, yo, you got to expect some problems, but you can run. Oh, and I got medication to take before I run to shut down like the nerves in my sinuses and all that. So I at least can get through until they fix everything in here. That's progress. Shitty progress, but progress. I'll do it again. Choo-choo bitches.